Yo, people, welcome back to the channel. You already know what time it is. London Clubs Carnage. It's gonna be interesting today. Listen, the foot golf episodes are getting uploaded slowly. I'm looking forward to the demise of a certain individual, but let's see how it goes for him on the shows today. Potts was really dark there for a second. I'm glad the lightings brought your face to the light. I couldn't see you for a second.
Really?
What's going on? No, not.
I'm not hiding.
Lawless.
Yeah. Had the lighting going on.
How you doing, bro? You good, Lawless? Talk to me. How you feeling?
Yeah, mate, feeling good. Like I said, I'm up and down with the window. 1 minute it's a disaster, next minute it's exciting. I just want this window to close, see what we've got, and then I can react accordingly. I don't know how to act, so I'm just waiting for the window to close.
Fair enough. Potts, bro, how you feeling? How you feeling now? Your team, everybody's starting to hype you guys up a little bit. I know you're trying to keep it on the down low, but
I keep it real. But this has been a really good pre-season, man. I can't lie, and this fills me with confidence of our first 11. I still feel we're very, very short in certain areas of the team, so I'm glad the window's still open. Apparently, Mikel Arteta and Edu have both said that we're not done and that we're looking at more transfers. So I'm going to be remembering that and hoping they stick to their word, man, because we do need a couple of positions filled. But listen, as far as we're concerned, I've been really impressed, particularly against you guys in Seville. It looked our front four was on fire. So let's hope that form continues going into the season when it actually matters, man.
Yeah, you look like you've got goals in you, man. That 6-0 versus Seville was ridiculous. Tobes, bro, how you doing? How you feeling after the foot golf? I mean, that's the last time I seen you. I hope you're well.
Yeah, I'm good. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe
in the last episode.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Really, I live to see another day. And at least as long as the people know they're watching, I'm not going to do any spoilers. But at least as long as I'm not in last place, then whatever. So, yeah, on Spurs, yeah, I feel good. I'm going to put out a video later on today to address some of the moaners in our fan base. But yeah, I feel good. I would love to see more signings. I feel like we need more signings. But yeah, I feel good about Spurs.
Let's lead from the top because there's been a lot of news coming out of Chelsea in the last few hours. I don't know what's going on. It's only just now resonating with me. I'm not gonna lie because I did not see this coming. Obviously, we know in the last few weeks Brighton have been stalling on Cucurella, and I know Tob's got thoughts about that as well. We're in the group chat there, Big Six, we've been talking about it, but 30 million was the opening offer for Cucurella. I thought it was I know there's a low balling and there's trying to get the best deal, but I think you said this as well, Tob. Zinchenko, when you sell him for that, you know that your floor price has got to be minimum 40. If it does end up going in Chelsea's favour, how do you see it as the player? How highly do you rate him? Do you think it's a massive loss for City? Obviously, City fans will just shrug it off and say, we'll go and get somebody else. But he got Player of the Year last year. He was brilliant.
I think it'll be a big loss for Man City. I think they don't have a natural lefty on that side. They've not had a natural left back for quite a minute now. And furthermore, it would only leave them with two fullback options entering the season, or two established first team fullback options entering the season. I know John Stones has played sometimes at right back and stuff like that, and Laporte can play left back or Ake can play left back. But let's be real, there's centre back options, and preferably Pep would want at least one more fullback in there. So for me, I think it will be a big blow to Man City if they let this one slip. Of course, we know how they operate. They go on, they get another target, cool. But Cucurella, you've seen what he's done to the Premier League firsthand. You've seen the impact he's had, and the fact that he was scored in La Masia as well. And when you watch him play, he's very comfortable with the ball at his feet. You've seen him play in the back three for Brighton. You've seen him play. You've seen him play quite high up for Brighton. You've seen him even tuck in and play left centre back against us for Brighton as well. This is a guy who is no slouch, and physically he's really, really suited to this league as well. So for me, I'm sure there are probably other names that Man City can go for out there, but I would still consider this a loss for City if you don't get him.
I'm very excited if Chelsea go for this guy. It seems like everything's progressing very quickly. 50 million is what Brighton wanted. Apparently personal terms wouldn't be a problem. He's open to the move. He's handed her the transfer request for the move to Manchester City, and because of the stalling, Chelsea have come in last minute. Now, he could play left in a free. I personally prefer him, obviously, on the left side, on the flank, because I want to see him go forward. I want to see him carry the ball, go past people, contribute to the final third. But if he is playing in that back three, Toby, what did you make of him in that back three? Because I remember him dropping a quote or something saying that people thought that I couldn't defend, and now I've played in the back three. I've showed you that I can. I know how.
Who's that? Cucurella?
Yeah. What do you make of him potentially being in a back three? His height, he's obviously not the tallest. He's more of any concerns there?
Nah, man. If I'm buying him, I'm playing him left back or left wing back. I feel like you're wasting the best part of Cucurella at left centre back. He can slot. He maybe can slot in there for 1 or 2 games, but if that was me and I signed Cucurella, that's a waste of resources. If you ask me, putting him left centre back, put him in a position where you can actually truly see what he can do on a football and how he can stretch games for your club. I think Chelsea, most importantly, at times the play is too slow, too congested. When there's no Chilwell on that side, when there's no Reece James on the other side, you see the quality drop is massive. Yeah. Someone like Cucurella can come in and can probably even displace Chilwell if we're being real, and he can give you what you're looking for on that left hand side and more.
Yeah, I think with Chilwell it'll be interesting because he came off that massive injury. You don't want to go into a season and just completely rely upon him. We saw last season with Chelsea when they lost James and Chilwell, like you said, they were pretty dreadful. No expansive play, very slow, methodical, predictable. I think with Cucurella, 50 million, it's a great price. Levi Colwill could be involved, which if it's a loan, I think there's not many better clubs to loan your player to than Brighton right now, especially with the system we play. They play the same system. They play possession-based football as well. They got a good coach. So if you're loaning him there, then fantastic. If you're selling him, for me, you have to put a buyback because you're gonna regret that. In my opinion, I rate the player. I think he's gonna become something. Same with Gurley, same with Tomori. And if you are bringing in Cucurella, and interested to get your thoughts on this as well, Potts, next, but if you are playing him in a back three, he's a going past players. He can maybe give you that Rudiger in a sense where he's going to carry the ball, bring it, combine with Chilwell in a way. But would you have the same concerns of maybe defensively, height-wise? Is he going to get exposed? Are you getting the best out of him? Is that really the left side centre-back that you should be going for? Or for you, is it just displace Chilwell and put him on the left side as well?
The way I see it is this kid would probably get into quite a lot of teams, in my opinion. I think he's probably the best left back outside of the top 6. If we're going to be looking at the top 6 as the original top 6, no, I think it's a very, very good signing. I don't think, however, that you're going to utilise him as a left centre back. I think if you're going to get the best out of this kid, you've got to go in where I believe he's really dangerous, and that's at left back or left wing back. And I do believe. The reason I find this a strange one, Matisse, is because what happens with Ben Chilwell. I know he's had injury problems, but he's not a poor left back. He's actually one that I was quite impressed with. When you signed him, I thought I'm worried about him defensively, and he proved that he could defend. I thought Ben Chilwell actually at Chelsea was quite good defensively as well as going forward. So I think it's a strange one. The reason I think it's just strange is because I wouldn't have prioritised left back as one of your issues. Maybe a backup for Chilwell would have been something I would have gone for. It looks like he's going to displace Chilwell now. So what happens with? Unless Cucurella can play up top, I still don't think you've got a striker. So I thought your priority would have been to try and replace Lukaku. So in a way, it's confusing, but it might be a good thing for you guys because it might be, if you're prepared to spend 50 million on a left back that you've already got one with, then what are you prepared to do up top? That must be a good thing. So I imagine you'll probably go massive for a striker again, because that for me is a bigger priority than left back. But they're
not signing the striker. Didn't Thomas Tuchel come out already say that they're not going to look for
an out striker?
That's madness. That's madness.
Lukaku with an out and out.
That's mad.
Man.
But the striker market isn't great. I don't think there's many out and out strikers out there. So he's probably just going to go with another wide player to be complement Sterling and go that route.
So what? Kai Havertz is going to be your centre forward now.
I think Kai and Broja would make sense as your forwards potentially.
Good luck, Chelsea.
This is why I wanted Jesus. This is why I wanted Jesus so bad. I seen Matt Law was also putting out that Tuchel sees Cucurella is able to play in a back three, so he could be used there on the left side. But also when Chelsea go to a 4-2-2-2, could maybe Cucurella be a left-sided midfielder ahead of Chilwell? Maybe. Does that option open up?
Potentially.
I'm not sure. I'm not. It's an
He could
interesting
play there.
one.
He could play there, to be fair to him. Do Barcelona need a left back? Because they'll come in a minute and put 52 million
We were
in.
talking about before the show.
Apparently they're interested in bringing him back. Apparently,
Bro, this is what I said on Twitter. I'm not gonna lie. Me and Lawless talking about it just before you got here. Is that, bro? It wouldn't be a surprise if Barcelona said, "Do you know what? Chelsea are taking too long with Marcus Alonso. We're going to go for Cucurella and bring him back. It would make sense." I mean, Lawless, what did you make of Cucurella last season? Worth the 50 mil?
Yeah, definitely. Like, he definitely seems like a player like ready to take that next step up. Obviously, I keep an eye on other teams outside the Sky Sports 6 that are doing things that seem to be, you know what I mean, taking some attention, because obviously we have a couple of players that everyone's talking about. And yeah, Brighton were good last season. Like, I really enjoyed watching them, and he was a big part of that. And I share a little bit of what Potts is saying about, is it a priority? I do think that Chilwell, like you said, coming back from such a long injury, there is question marks, and you do need depth, but you can't just stop there. Like, it would be a sort of a marquee signing in a way. It would be a sort of an exciting signing. So, but the same way, whether it's, look, if you don't get an out-and-out striker, then you need to find someone that can maybe play false nine or something that is just going to bang goals, that just has that clinical side of him, but can link up, can move with the ball, all of that stuff. And I think, obviously, look, I've been admiring Broja for a while. I'd like him at West Ham, but I feel like it's a risk to rely on him to be the man this season. Havertz, I can't see him ever being that main man for Chelsea that is going to bag you like 20 plus goals a season. So whether it is, okay, cool. If you don't want another Lukaku type out and out, just find someone who can play there, play false nine or whatever, and bag you goals. So Cucurella's good, but address the goals. You have to. It's a must.
Yeah, I think Cucurella is gonna bring a lot of tactical versatility. I can't predict what Thomas is gonna do because he's played a lot of different formations. I know everyone knows he plays the back three, but he's also played the 4-2-2. He's played the 4-3-3 at PSG before, so it could open the door for other options. And I do worry about Chilwell a little bit. But another player we've been going strongly for, Ornstein. I'm only bringing the best in terms of targets and links, not some dodgy correspondence that Tobs and Lawless have been throwing in the chat whenever.
Don't say me. Don't say me.
You as well, Hudson-Odoi. You don't even know who that man is.
What? Who?
Leon Osman, some other Osman.
Raman Osman.
Yeah.
No. Don't, you're not going to do that because he's a very, very credible source.
Is he?
He is. When it comes to news on black players, African players, he's quite reliable. So
I've never seen him.
We're not going to do that. Don't compare him. What's its Quavers news fucking source that Potts use. Let's not do that. Don't play my boy Raman.
What? I haven't used any of that. What are you talking about?
Sorry, Lawless. Sorry, not.
Nah, listen, you can't sit there.
Oh, right. I was going to say.
Take your word that your source is good, but when I say that,
you don't have to. Go and look at his Twitter. Go and look at his Twitter, bro.
All right, but when I bring certain sources, like Darmish, you wanted to slander Darmish, right?
Darmish he's known to be a bum, bro. What are you talking about?
He's been on point with West Ham.
Fucking hell, man. So, guys, Potts, if you heard news from Darmish Chef, would you take it as gospel?
No, I only go for Fabrizio Romano for me.
Would you take, if you heard news from Darmish in your club, would you take it as gospel?
Everyone
knows how slow Sky Sports are when it comes to transfer news. So excuse me if I have second doubts on Darmish Chef's transfer stories.
No, but listen, not every journalist is as strong on every club. It's about relationships, yeah? It's about building contacts. So maybe you could be a bum in this game like 3 years ago, but as over time, you build those contacts, you build those relationships, all of a sudden, you become more reliable and you become more credible. And then he's probably built up his links, and he's probably got good links with West Ham and certain agents that we're dealing with, and that's why he's been on point. So you can't sit here and talk about your guy and be like, yeah, how dare you slander him? Like, ex-employee, you've been like, who is this guy? He's always on point with West Ham.
Ornstein and Romano for me. I don't go much further than that. I can't lie.
You don't go much further.
Even then, I don't take all of these. You have to take all of them with a pinch of salt. At the end of the day, because they're never going to be 100% on anything.
Anything can happen. Anything can
Yeah,
happen. It can happen.
they get things wrong. So
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about who you're more likely to trust.
well, I'm sorry, like only you seem to know like about your guy, your source, and how big it is. So at the moment, we're just gonna take it that he's.
I followed him now. I'm gonna see what happens.
Let's see what happens. Keep us
What
updated.
did he report? He reported that Newcastle are looking to try and sign Callum Hudson-Odoi. I think that's credible, no? Is it not? They're clearly known to want to bring in a wide man. They're making moves. They've targeted the likes of Odoi, Harvey Barnes, what's his name from Leeds, Harrison, and Anthony Gordon. So these are names that they've been linked with. So
But you see this logic that you're putting out there, Tobes. That's how these stories come about half the time. They might not have heard anything about Hudson-Odoi, but they go, they're known to be looking at a wide player. They've targeted similar players. Yeah, this could be believable. I ain't got no news. Let me put a story out there about Hudson-Odoi and it'll be believable. That's how the game goes.
But Baba Rahman isn't a transfer correspondent. He's just a journalist. Like, he's not someone who goes out of his way to write stories. So I'm more inclined to believe him when he's
Baba Rahman.
Sorry, Rahman.
Yo, you just gave me PTSD. Don't bring up that.
Raman Osman. So
fair enough.
From his news, I don't see him as someone who's always trying to be at the forefront for transfer news. So I don't see why he would come out and just make up a random story about Odoi. But anyway, we don't have to talk about
From my understanding, it's between Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic, and Ziyech in terms of exits. Maybe 2 max, but also Werner. So maybe 2 out of the 4 max. When it comes,
not the closest to going, like, because I thought like
I pray every day. Even Newcastle being linked to Werner as well on loan. I mean, and like they're gone, on loan. I don't know. I pray every day that we see the exit. But also in terms of Colwill, I probably will do a whole video on this Cucurella thing as it heats up people, a solo one. But in terms of Colwill, he had a lot of injuries in pre-season, so he's probably not had the opportunity to impress.
How good can he be? Do you reckon, Matisse?
He can go down the same path as Tomori and Gerhi, who in my opinion have world-class potential as long as they continue to keep learning the game and rectifying any errors and whatnot. Seeing what Tomori's done at AC Milan displays the whole captaincy there. So I think they can go on to do big things, but it's all about the development. I think Colwill had a few.
You missed a trick there, though. Like, do you think Chelsea missed a trick there?
Yeah, of course, but this club have been all over the shop in terms of like planning and this is why you need a DOF, because they're coming to oversee your whole club and from a transfer standpoint try and plan things in advance and actually put down long-term foundations. We've just been hopping from one thing to the next, one short-term target to the next, one scouted target over 3 or 4 different managers that play different styles, this sacking, that sacking. It's been a mess. So it's no surprise that young players don't thrive, or as many young players as we would want to don't thrive in an ecosystem that is very messed up and all over the place. But I think Cole, he had a few niggles in pre-season, so it's not really a surprise that he maybe hasn't had a chance to impress Tuchel as much as possible.
Before your manager doesn't rate him, though.
I think I've seen a report that he wants to keep him, but he wants to improve that left side. So he doesn't rate him as a starter. Definitely doesn't, which is fair enough.
But he has improved. He has improved the left side by signing Koulibaly, though.
That's my thing. And I personally feel that too. But he keeps saying that he wants a left footer over there. And he says Koulibaly could be an option over there potentially if he doesn't get the left footer. But he's wanted Kimpembe. He's wanted now Cucurella. He's wanted the Leipzig defender.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Serious question.
Sorry.
No. I am sorry. Serious question, because I like Thomas Tuchel, but serious questions need to be asked if this guy's bringing in Cucurella to play him at left centre back. This is ridiculous. The guy's played max maybe 5 games at left centre back. He's a fucking left back or a left wing back. That's a waste of money if you're trying to bring this guy to play left centre back. If you're going to bring him in, you're saying that says to me they're looking to replace Alonso, and they're looking to have as opposed to a backup, they're looking to have 2 players at a similar level who are competing for one spot in Chilwell and Cucurella, which is what top sides do.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have a problem with that as long as we sort out all our other issues. I wouldn't say it was one of the most pressing issues, but if that's the plan, then fair enough. But I'm interested to see. I'm going to try and see if I can see some highlights of him in the left side centre back position and see how capable he is over there. It wasn't one of our top targets in the position, but it is what it is. What's everybody's thoughts on Fofana as well? That's another player that Weinstein was saying that everyone can see what we're trying to get him. He's going to be 80 million or something like that, but The guy,
really good player. Really
Yeah.
good player. I think that would be a really good signing for Chelsea, but the price is crazy, in my opinion. I think 80 million for Leicester. I think they're well within their rights to ask for that, considering they got 50 for Chilwell. They got 80 for Maguire. I think Fofana's better than Maguire. So
I should
I
hope so.
mean, Leicester. I want Leicester to ask for the world just to make sure that Chelsea don't get this guy. But I don't realistically think Chelsea are going to buy him for 80 million pounds. I can't see that happening.
It's a lot of money considering the injury as well, the leg break.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think Leicester, to me, I get a vibe like they need money. They really need money. Like the way I'm seeing their transfer window go, I think that can be negotiated down a bit from 80 to maybe like 65 plus add-ons or whatever you want to go with.
Definitely.
So I would try and explore that and negotiate for sure.
Leicester could end up with no players, by the way. Tielemans, Maddison, Fofana, Vardy's 37. I don't understand where they're going. If they start selling these, whatever it is, I was exaggerating, but you get my point.
I know.
Like when you look at it, they're probably their best players, and if they're going to be getting rid of them, where are they going?
But this is the problem, is that the longer they're leaving it, the worse it is for them. Like if they was to sell, like
they haven't signed anyone, Lawless. They haven't signed one player.
Not necessarily though, because they don't want to sell Fofana. They don't want to sell Fofana. So, but I think from what I've read, they're resigned to the possibility of one of Maddison or Fofana leaving. But they are not looking to sell Fofana, which is why they put that price on his head. So it's up to Chelsea. Chelsea have to come in and make a bid that will make Leicester say, okay, you know what? Fair enough. We put 80 million on him. But like you said, if you give us 65 million quid or whatever, then okay, cool. Maybe we'll consider selling him. I just don't think that Chelsea, because I think that Ben Jacobs guy, Matisse talks about, he said that Chelsea looked at Fofana last year for around January for around 45 million. If you go to Leicester with 45 million for Fofana, you're getting knocked back straight away.
100%.
Never going to happen.
65 with add-ons, I think, minimum.
Never going to happen.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Yeah, I think the only chance Leicester, Chelsea will have of signing Fofana is if they're willing to pay around the 65 million mark for Fofana. And I still even think that's quite high for Fofana, but I would understand why a team would pay it because
how old is he? He's very young, isn't he?
He's very young. Years old.
Before the leg break, I thought he was borderline team of the year in his first season. He was that good. Like in the
we
cup
spoke about
final,
in the Big Six, didn't we?
Really good. In the cup final, he was unbelievable when we lost to Leicester in the FA Cup final. I looked at a young centre-back and I was like, I can't find any glaring weaknesses. I really can't. The guy is quick. The guy can contest in the air. The guy's good on the ball. He's dominant. He wants to assert himself. He knows when to drop off. He knows when to come to the guy just looks very.
His ceiling's massive as well. Like his ceiling's massive for me. Like that, I didn't realize he was still that young. I know that he partnered William Saliba at Saint Etienne, and both of them were just running the show over in France. And he came over to Leicester and was absolutely superb. And I've been a huge fan, and I think it'll be a quality signing for Chelsea if it happens, man. Listen, I think Chelsea will keep splashing the cash. So
it's very
wouldn't surprise me.
Like our business is very all over the shop, but you can't say that we're not going after top players. We're definitely getting mugged off a little bit by Barcelona. We're losing out on players. We're maybe making a bit of a show of ourselves with a lack of real due diligence being done on our targets a little bit in a way. Maybe in a little bit of inexperience is being shown by Todd, by Tuchel in his position that he probably doesn't want to be as high up and as involved as he is, but we're definitely still going for top targets. It's the biggest issue is not really who Chelsea are going for, is will Chelsea get enough players in and get rid of the dead wood and actually have proper competition. If you're talking about Cucurella versus Chilwell, that is real competition. That's where now winter time comes and it's not cold. It's calm. Do you know what I mean? And I'm looking at Cucurella's stats and it says he's played 10 times at centre back this season, 20 at left back. This is transfer market, and 8 times left midfield. I feel like left back, left midfield for Brighton is basically the similar thing. Left wing back, whatever you want to call it, 3-4-3, 3-5-2. But he's played 10 times centre back. I don't know. We'll have to see.
I think to what Tobs was saying, right? Yeah, you don't want him. You don't want to prioritize him and have like that centre back be his position. Obviously, ideally, you'd have him in that left wing back. But if Chilwell is on form, that's an option to have. I'd see that as like an option. and then like you can then other games when you want to rotate, play him left mid for left. You know,
it's really weird because like you wouldn't put Chilwell at left side centre back, but you would put Cucurella. But then if you was to swap them and say who do you want further forward, you'd probably have Cucurella higher than Chilwell. Like if you had to go left mid, left back, you probably have Cucurella left mid and Chilwell left back. Do you see what I'm saying? So maybe there could be a thing where Cucurella in this weird type of way, and I don't know how he's going to make this work, but he kind of underlaps Chilwell a little bit in that LCB role, and then Chilwell drops off a bit, and they kind of rotate. And it could be difficult to track, could be quite fluid. I don't know. It's a weird one. I've seen more madness with Cancelo play left back and cut in like a winger. So I don't know. Football's changing. Maybe there's something there that as a duo they could be quite exciting and it could be quite unpredictable. As long as you've got and Koulibaly can shuffle across then, and like I said, the other defenders can shuffle across into a 4. So there might be something there tactically that could surprise teams. But yeah, I think Fofana. Listen, if we get it done, it's a brilliant signing. But let's see if it actually happens. Let's talk a little bit about before we go to Arsenal, because you did absolutely wipe the floor of Sevilla, but it was a friendly, and I know what Potts is going to do. Potts is going to try and calm everybody down and be like, "Yo, calma. It was a friendly. The real season starts next week, and we're gonna have a few Premier League predictions because I feel like we need to for sure, because this show is going to get recorded straight after it seems these games finish on the weekend, which means the energy is going to be pumping and the blood's going to be flowing after the results. After Lawless and Tobs play their big derbies at Olympic Park, it's going to be all kicking off and everything. But that Community Shield, we had the curtain raiser, and I know they're not London clubs, but I just want to, because there was a lot of slander for Hairline on his debut there, and Darwin Núñez copped a lot of heat over the preseason, and he ended up getting a goal. Did the disjointed look of Man City's attack with Hairline, De Bruyne, they both had a little spat. Did anything in that game change your perspective of the way the title race may unfold this season? Just in terms of anything that you saw, you was like, okay, shit.
Do you know what? I feel like season after season, we never learn with judging Man City early. I feel like first few months, everyone's always on Man City, like they ain't gonna win the league this season. Look at them, they're looking all over the place. You know, they're dropping points in some games they should be winning. And then when it comes to like October, November time, they just switch it on. So I'm never getting carried away with looking at them early and thinking, you know what, like Man City might not win it this season. Usually it takes them a bit of time to get going. But yeah, like I do question, you know, what the plan is with Man City, what they're trying to do this season. But still a lot of time in the window left. But they just seem to be getting rid of so many like players. Yeah. And just like it's just relying on Haaland to be like the man. So I feel like they need to really bring in some more numbers.
Listen, go on, Tobes, go for it.
I think most of the first team players that, in fact, every single first team player they've got rid of, they've replaced, with the exception of Zinchenko now, and they're trying to replace him with Cucurella. I think the other players that they sold are academy players that are good talents, but aren't really at the level to get into Man City's first team. So they're just saying, you know what, you can't get into our first team, and other teams are interested in you, so we'll sell. What I've always questioned throughout though this summer is, I think where they've lost Raheem Sterling and Gabriel Jesus, I feel like that penetrative threat off the ball in wide areas, that's lost. For me, that's lost with Jesus and Sterling. And I feel like now, when we look at their team, they got so many players who want the ball to feet. Haaland is the only one in that attack that's going to be making runs in behind. Alvarez, to a certain extent, I think he'll be making runs in behind if what I'm told on his game is believed to be true. But I just feel like Man City had the perfect blend of wide players who were also good at with the ball at their feet, but were also good at making runs beyond making runs to sort of beat the offside trap. And I feel like now they've lost sort of that dimension, but at the same time, you could also say that they're moving towards a new strategy now where they've got a number 9. They need to cater for a number 9, and they're looking at players who can probably create more for the number 9 as opposed to making those runs off the ball to actually get into goal scoring positions for themselves. So for me, I can never question Man City's plan, because I think they're probably one of the few teams that are quite flawless in the way they navigate, for the most part, in the way they navigate the transfer window as of late. So I'm not reading anything into I'm not reading much into the community shield. Yeah, Liverpool, they did well in the second half, and I tuned in and were good value for their win. I don't think it was a great performance from Man City from what I watched, but I've also seen this Man City guy take Liverpool to the cleaners at the Etihad last year and should have beaten them and drew 2-2 and they won the league. So it's not over yet. It's not over yet. I think it's quite dumb, in my opinion, to make absolute statements on Man City or Liverpool this season.
Yeah. No, I 100% hear that. I think the difference, because I'm seeing a lot of people attach Lukaku's name to Haaland and say, oh, you killed the idea, but you didn't, or something. I don't know. You killed the man, but not the idea, right? And they're putting Lukaku and Haaland together. which I think is
that's mad.
Bro,
Listen.
it's wild. I'm not going to lie. Like, the edits and everything. Haaland's one of them players, and Darwin's the same thing. If they fuck up and they don't get goals in the opening game weeks, they're getting absolutely cooked because people want 100 million flops. They want big name flops. They want big number 9 flops, 100%. I think the big difference between Chelsea and City is clear. Chance creation. City create an absolute fuck ton of chances. Their creativity is completely on point. And there will be a little adaptation. And maybe, just maybe, because Haaland absolutely cleans up in the Champions League, but maybe he's not going to find it as easy as he did in the Bundesliga. I don't think
not.
I think the neutral football fan though always wants this to happen, and I'm not just talking about flops. I'm talking about Man City, for example. It's like, if you compare it to other sports as well, it happens in other sports. Remember years ago, Michael Schumacher used to win every single time. Everyone said, he's not going to win it this year, because deep down they don't want him to, but they know deep down he's going to. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I think Man City are a little bit like that with some of the neutral fan base, and I've been guilty of that the last couple of years. Last year I said, I think Liverpool do it, because I don't think Man City have got that killer forward that they need to replace Aguero, and they proved me wrong. They didn't need a killer forward. They got goals by committee and they smashed it. I think deep down you can never write off Man City under Pep Guardiola. You just can't do it. So yeah, I'm with Tobes. I think that although Jesus and Sterling may be missed, I do think there's going to be some players coming in. I agree that they've definitely replaced the players that they've sold, because obviously they've got Haaland and Alvarez up top. They've got Calvin Phillips, who I think is an upgrade on Fernandinho. They're looking at Cucurella to replace Zinchenko, and we don't know what's going to happen there. So for me, I don't look at their side and go, wow, that's really weak now. I just look at it and say it's completely refreshed. But in terms of the level of quality, I don't believe it's gone much of a change, in my opinion. So I expect them to be winning it again, if I'm honest.
Bruh, I think it's the dream that kills you, because what we don't want to see is utter dominance year after year, bang, bang, bang,
of course,
constantly. But it's lined up to be like that. They are still my favourites, regardless of what happened at the weekend. But they do need that. They definitely need that left-sided player. But yeah, I think the only issue with City is that they have got rid of a lot of trusted squad players that deliver in this league. The Gabriel Jesus, the Sterlings, the Zinchenko's, they're all dependable. Now they're bringing in unknown quantities and they're spicing things up a little bit, but at least they're keeping it interesting. It's almost like they're doing it just to keep things interesting, just to entertain and keep the league competitive, because otherwise it's another league win, in my opinion, for them, as good as Liverpool are. But let's get on to Arsenal, because it was a big win against Sevilla. I didn't get to watch it. Thankfully, I didn't see Jesus get the hat-trick. He's looking damn good, isn't he? Shit, Pots.
Yeah, man, he's banging them in, and I think when I look at him, he's more of an all-rounded striker than I ever give him credit for. And people will say it's only pre-season, and I've said. What
did I say? What did I say to you and Lee?
What
about him being an all-rounded striker when Lee was talking?
No, you did. No, you did.
Abraham was a boy.
No, you did. No, you did, and you're right. He is. I've never realised how good he was at holding the ball up. I never realised how great his link-up play was. I definitely knew that he had some of the things that he's delivered already, and that's the being tenacious, work rate, never say die attitude. The mentality's right. The way that he's settled into this side is mad. Like, you think he'd been playing at Arsenal for 5 or 6 years. Like, no joke. The guy is looking ridiculously good at the moment. I think that's 7 goals now in pre-season. That's just mad. Like, the guy has come in and absolutely delivered, and looks to me as if he's going to be a great signing. So let's see what he can do in the first few fixtures. The fixtures have laid out kindly for Arsenal, and I know that no game's easy in the Premier League, but we've got the North London derby on the 1st of October, and we've got Manchester United before that. Other than that, all the teams we're playing are in and around the bottom half of the table. So I believe we should have a good start. But I said that last year as well, and it went tits up. But last year we had some tough games, to be fair. We had Chelsea and Man City our first 3 games. So I do feel like Arsenal prepared better now. This time last year it was a nightmare. There was no preparation. We were playing Balogun and Martinelli in the first few games. We had Pablo Marie at the back. We had Rob Holding playing. We had Cedric. It was a disaster. There was no quality in the side in terms of strength and depth. And I feel like, although we're still lacking some strength in depth, I do feel like we have probably 14, 15 players now that are all good enough to play for Arsenal. And if we are going to be getting some more, which is what I'm hearing rumour-wise, that 2 or 3 are coming in, then we're heading towards that kind of magic number of 20 squad players, which I believe you need at least to compete in all 4 competitions. So I've been really impressed, Matisse, not just with Gabriel Jesus, but also with William Saliba. And I'm not counting him as a new signing. A lot of people are, because he's not a new signing. Emery bought the geezer 3 years ago, right? Yeah. But what I will admit is that he has come in and looked a complete breath of fresh air. Now, I'm okay with Ben White. I really like Gabriel. I'm okay with Ben White, but the jury's out for me. I still believe there's some mistakes in the guy and he's learning. First 3 minutes of the game against Seville summed up everything you need to know about the difference between Ben White and William Saliba. Now, to be fair to Ben White, he's playing at right back at the moment to cover for the injured Tomiyasu, and he's been playing very, very well there. But in 3 minutes, he made a real cock-up, and he just lost out on the ball. And Saliba said, "No worries, mate, I got you." And he just steps in, takes the ball off of him, sweeps past the player and passes it to Thomas Partey as if it was just simple to do. Yeah. I saw him against Chelsea and I was impressed. I saw him against Everton and he looked good. Against Seville, he's just an absolute monster. This guy looks so good. It's unreal, man. And I hear about all the highly rated centre-halves. I looked at him and I thought he needs to do it in an Arsenal shirt before I'm getting excited. And his pre-season has looked very encouraging. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what this guy can do. And it looks like we have some strength in depth at the back there now. So things are starting to look positive. Things are starting to look good for the Arsenal fan base, who, of course, will jump on every single result as if we've won the league and we're up for a title challenge now. But if you have to look at things and be realistic to say that there is no excuses going into the start of this season to be scared about any of the teams that we have to face up until the North London derby. Because the North London derby form goes out the window, and as Tobs know, it doesn't matter what happens. It's one of those. Manchester United at the moment, I don't fear them. They've been all right in pre-season from what I hear, but I don't look at them and go, "Cool, that's going to be tough at Old Trafford." I don't know how we're going to get past them. So when I look at our first 11 at the moment, I'm okay with it. I really am. And I like what I'm seeing from the... And, you know, I've never been a fan of the regime, the process. I've questioned Mikel Arteta. I've questioned what Stan Kroenke's ambitions are. But it's very encouraging to see that we're still going in the market. We've made some good signings. Zinchenko, Saliba and Gabriel Jesus are all new players that have come in and definitely improved our first 11 by far. And it looks like all 3 of them have been playing for a long time in an Arsenal shirt. And that is really, really encouraging for me. The front 4 I thought was ridiculously good against Seville. I thought it gave you guys nightmares as well at Chelsea. But also it's good to see that we're coming up against teams like Chelsea and Seville who are no mugs. And you know, to score that amount of goals is mad. Last season, we struggled to score. This season, in pre-season, we've scored, I think, 26 goals in 6 games. Yeah. That's mad. That's absolutely mad. So, of course, I'm encouraged by it, but not losing my head like some Arsenal fans, of course.
Do you know what it is with Arsenal as well? You've got good value for money in this market. Like, Jesus, snippet. Absolute snippet. And I feel like I'm gonna be doing ridiculous amounts of Jesus propaganda all season, because the guy is he's just exactly what you want in the modern day as a forward. Do you know what I mean? He can do everything to a good level that you need him to do, and he's still got ways to go and potentially will improve, and probably will, with the more consistent game time he gets, the less moving around and changing of position from wide right to forward to wide right to forward, in, out the team constantly. Now that he's actually given trust and he's actually given the license to spearhead a youthful attack. A lot of talent in that attack, but still youthful. And he's the actually more experienced one. He may take up this weird leadership role. Now, I'm not saying you give him the armband or anything like that, but in himself, he'll actually kind of rise up and be like, "I'm in the Brazil squad. I'm this. Let's do this. Let's actually move." And even Zinchenko, I think when I saw him against us, I was just like, "Fucking hell, man. Like, this is another really, really good player that you got at a good price." Plays that inverted left-back role very well, tucks into midfield nicely, helps on transitions, good on the ball. Passing is precise. You can tell they came from Man City. They were coached by Pep. It's good. You just need more. That's all it is. Like you said,
This,
it's
man.
the depth.
This is encouraging. Matisse is worried. Tobes and Lawless in silence. Don't know what to say. This is mad. This is mad.
Just waiting
I'm
for
biding
sure
my
the
time.
story of how he
I'm
almost got Zinchenko last season.
I'm waiting. Yeah, I'm waiting for the bubble to burst. It's a nosh fest right now. They're gonna win the league. They got the best young attack in the Premier League and all of this stuff. They've won the transfer window. Blah blah blah. I've reiterated everything I've said about Arsenal from day one till now. I think Arsenal are going to be competitive this season, and I think Arsenal, from the team that finished the season in May to now, they're a better side. But I've also seen this Arsenal team with vulnerabilities that they're still yet to address, and I've also seen teams around them get better. Yeah, so let's see what Arsenal have got in store for us this season, because I don't think it's a given that that they're not going to finish in the top four. I don't think it's open and shut. I think it's very, very competitive. Listen, my thing's bigger than your thing, no pun intended. And I'm putting a big pause on that. I'm putting a big pause on that. Our thing is proper. Yeah, our thing is proper. So whilst Arsenal have whilst Arsenal have reasons to be optimistic, there are still holes in that team that I don't think they've actually plugged. I don't think they've plugged.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So
like the
they
manager.
also have to contend with European football this season as
Say
well.
it again.
They got to plug that manager hole.
They got European football to deal with this season as well. So let's see, man. Let's see. Gabriel Jesus, 6 signing. Zinchenko, I think, is a decent signing for them. I don't know anything on Vieira. Saliba looks good. Obviously reintegrated back into the team. But let's see, man. Let's see.
Spending an awful lot of money to get fourth is crazy. Like people talked about Man City and Chelsea buying leagues, like Arsenal trying to buy fourth. Like when you put it in that perspective, it's crazy.
You know what? There's no running. There's nowhere to hide because they spent the most money in the window. I've seen. Arteta's had another big cash injection this summer. If he doesn't make it, then that's.
It's no excuses, man. There's no excuses.
And I'm not even saying if he doesn't make it, he's been a complete failure, because if he doesn't make it, one thing I will say is he's left the squad in wonderful hands. Oh, wonderful. He's cleared out so many players. He still needs to clear out more. I think you need to get rid of Bellerin as soon as possible for free tomorrow. You need to clear out, some of them centre backs that I'm seeing lingering in the background, Holdings and
Pablo Marie.
Yeah, Pablo
Torreira.
Yeah.
Maitland-Niles. There's quite a few lists. Balogun's gone on loan to France today, from what Romano's saying. I'm a bit disappointed he's gone to France.
Needs to go. Fair, I can't lie, Pepe needs to go.
Sounding like Pepe may stay, if I'm honest. From what I'm hearing, I don't think anybody wants to pay his wages. It's on about 150k. There's some clearing out to do still, but it's looking more encouraging. But Tobes, I agree with Tobes. There's too many holes still. I still think if Partey gets injured, we're screwed. There's no defensive midfielder that have got that quality in the side. I still feel that we're a striker short, because if Jesus gets a real big injury, we've got Eddie up front for the season. I'm not sure he can do it. And I still feel that there's a number 8. There's a left 8 there that I believe we need an upgrade on Granit Xhaka. He's had 6 years in the side, and although he played well at the weekend and he has been okay the last couple of seasons, we all know what Granit Xhaka does, and that's get sent off and be a liability. So for me, if we were to buy a Tielemans, that would be a good signing. But I still feel there's a couple of holes. Defensive midfield is massively important for me. So yeah, there's still time, but listen, I'm encouraged by what I've seen in pre-season, and I think anybody can say that's fair, because the way we've been playing has been good. So let's see what happens, man. There's a long way to go, and I still believe that there are some problems at Arsenal top to bottom. So let's hope they prove me wrong, man.
If Tierney's fit, Zinchenko could play that Xhaka role, it would seem. But Tierney being fit is a whole nother question.
That's a whole puzzle to try and solve, bro. Like a bit like Ben Chilwell, man. He's never really know on that left-hand side how fit he's going to be. But when he plays, I think he's sick, mate. I really do love Kieran Tierney and everything about him. But Zinchenko can play there. Zinchenko looks happy to play in both. A lot of people were saying he wasn't happy to come in at left-back, but he's played there all the time at the moment, and he's looked good and looked good enough there. I know he plays midfield for Ukraine and can do a job, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of place he has in the squad for Arsenal. But yeah, I'm a big fan of what I've seen of the kids so far. So let's see what happens, man.
He was always playing left back. He was always playing left back. I guess he's an option in midfield, but he was always playing left back. Like, you've got a left back who can't even
He's
play
always
more
injured.
than 50,
Yeah.
you can't even play more than 50% of games of the season, and you sold to Tavares. Like, like, this is what I was trying to say to Goon and Lee. I said, like, come on, bro, like just use your brain here, just use logic. Like, of course you're buying him to play left back. Why else would you get him? Because I'm sorry, you've not watched him at Man City and said, oh yeah, I need a bit of that in my midfield. You know that he can come in and tuck in as a midfielder, but he's not started in midfield for Man City as a sort of a left 8, should I say?
And he hasn't for us either yet. So I think you're right. I think he
normally tucks in. He normally tucks in, like Matisse said, with the inverted role for Man City, and helps with their build up on that left hand side. So
that's to be expected. We'll kind of come to a close in a second, but I do want to, because there's not, I mean, unless there's something at West Ham and Tottenham going on, but I haven't seen anything. You made that signing last week. That was kind of your big day out. Now it's like everybody's calmed down again at West Ham.
Lawless reckons they're going to finish ahead of Arsenal and Man United. He's told me this season. So there we go. Let's see what happens with West Ham.
When did I say this?
Last week, you text me.
Pot, send me the clip. It's
yeah. You want to see the receipts?
Double blue tick.
I will. Blue tick.
But we are pushing for the Zielinski because Napoli might have to sell. They're in some sort of financial issues. So we're pushing the Zielinski transfer. We're pushing the Kostic transfer. Kostic's agent is working on convincing him. He's Scamacca's agent. So he's pushing.
Why does he have to work to convince him?
Because the guy is available for free. He's like, his contract runs out in a few months, and that he's able to negotiate in a few months. So
exactly. So surely, if he was signing for such a prestigious club, then there should be no convincing, right? He'd be happy to.
Whoa! Like, you've never had to convince a player. Everyone just wants to bow down and join Spurs. Look at Chelsea. Chelsea have missed out on a bag of players. Like, you have to. There's factors. Yeah, there's so many factors. It's not just about prestige of club. It's about location. It's about, are you playing in the Champions League? It's about
he wants a better club than West Ham. Just spit it out already. He wants to play for a better club than West Ham.
I don't know why you're
doing all these mental gymnastics. He wants to play for a better club than West Ham, which is why he needs to be convinced that West Ham is the preferred choice for him. Because like you said, once he's available on a free transfer, he can get a move to a much better club than West Ham. So you have to do a lot of convincing to tell him that it's in his best interest to choose West Ham over playing the waiting game and signing for a better club in 12 months' time. Yes or no?
Listen, let's
just answer the man.
No, I'm not agreeing.
I'm lying. I've just made that up. Okay, cool.
I'm not agreeing to that. I'm just saying.
Go on.
If he signs, then I want you to come out and eat humble pie. Yeah, we'll say that.
You're gonna apologize, Tobs, if he goes to West Ham.
No,
he won't.
He didn't even apologize for Sevilla or Leon.
I want to quickly run through the fixtures that are coming up before you man go on your little West Ham transfer brigade again. Potts.
Yo.
I'm seeing echo. Let me mute myself. Okay, let's see. Okay, no, it's still echo.
Who's got echo cancellation on?
Whose is the echo? Is that?
We're muting everybody.
Go to settings and turn on echo cancellation. Whoever's not got that on.
I can't hear an echo.
Is that good?
No. I can't hear an echo.
Okay, we're gonna just scrap it. It is what it is. I've never heard of echo cancellation though.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's in the settings on StreamLabs.
It's everyone. Everybody's echoing, aren't they? No, has it stopped now?
No, okay.
I can't hear
What's
an echo.
What's going on, man?
All right. Yeah, stop now. It's cool. It was me. It must have been me.
It was you, yeah.
I just muted myself for a bit and then I come back. That's what I do. I just mute myself for a bit.
Fair enough.
Let's get into it quickly. Fixtures. This is where we see what Arsenal are made of, right? Palace away. Same place as last year. Big problems.
Yep.
Late night. Not easy. Cheerleaders out. Patrick Vieira once again. Long day at the office. Are you confident? Are you more confident this time? Because last time we knew what it was.
Yeah, I'm more confident because I've seen this team in this first 11 look a lot stronger than it did the team that went to Palace that night. We had Kieran Tierney out, we had Thomas Partey out, we had issues up front without a replacement for Aubameyang. We now have Jesus, we now have Zinchenko, Thomas Partey's back. Erdegaard and Thomas Partey in the middle make our midfield so much better, in my opinion. Obviously, we've got strength at the back now with Saliba, Ben White, but Gabriel. So I am confident. I don't think we're going to go blitz them like a 4-0, like some fans will have you think. But if you was to ask me what I think the score would be, I think it would be a narrow Arsenal win, because I still feel that Palace make it a fortress there, make it difficult for us to break them down. They went there last season. Man City went there last season and couldn't win. They had a draw there. Obviously, they did well against Tottenham and against Arsenal, and they knew last season how to do well against the big sides. So I don't believe that's going to change drastically. I don't think Palace's side, other than Conor Gallagher, is complete chop and change, in my opinion. I think they've had a year of development under a manager who's tried to prove himself, who I thought was superb. And I'm not saying it just because I'm a gooner. I thought Patrick Vieira did a great job last season, and I expect him to do good things again. So I would say that it will be a narrow 2-1 Arsenal win, and that's only because of our form going into this game and the quality of our side. So I'm going to go for that. But that's the way it is.
That's mad.
You said our form going into it's pre-season, bro.
It's still form, though, isn't it?
Does it not count at all for you, Toby? Not at all.
Do you not look and see that we've got good form going into the start of the season? Would you not say that?
Yeah, but so do they. Haven't they had a good preseason as well?
They've missed a lot of
I don't care about. I'm just saying how I'm feeling with our way we're playing at the moment. Why would I not be confident beating?
Fair. Let me chill. Fair enough.
Are you confident, Toby, at home to Southampton? Surely you must be.
I am confident. I think there needs to be revenge mode. Last season, that was a very, very humbling defeat, and they should have peppered us. Let's be real. Like, we lost 3-2, but they could have hammered us 5-2 on the day. So something needs to give. I think we need to come out and smoke and just get the result.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know what your form's like, though, mate.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're confident.
If you believed everything from parts, then we're probably going to lose to Southampton, because we lost to Roma and then we beat Rangers, but we also drew to Sevilla. So it must.
Form's not looking good, man. Form's looking good.
Form's a little inconsistent.
That's relegation
up and down. Yeah,
a little bit inconsistent. So do better. Come on, Conte, sort it out.
Sort it out.
Lawless, what about you? You play City on the opening day. You guys tried to beat them, didn't you, in that late season madness?
We almost did,
couldn't quite pull it off. But how are you feeling going into it? It's an opportunity to shake up the league first day.
Yeah, I'm not confident, to be honest. Several reasons. I don't think we're ready for the start of the season. I look at it, we've got Aguerd injured. Ogbonna don't seem like he's ready to come back, so probably Zuma and Dawson. Antonio picked up a knock, so didn't play the last preseason game against Lens. Skamaka, he's only just started training with us. He hasn't played any preseason, so I can't see him being ready. So we're going to be missing a few key players. Man City obviously played that game against Liverpool, which, was more intense than you get your typical preseason. So I think they're going to be fitter and more ready than us. So I feel like a loss, but I don't know. We have been good against them the past part under Moyes. He seems to know how to deal with them, know how to play against them. So if I'm being optimistic, I can see like a 1-1 draw. That's my optimistic side, but yeah, I'm not confident. I feel like it's going to take us a while to get that momentum and start to push on. I think we'll start slow this season, personally.
Fair, bloody hell.
By the way, I stand corrected as well. I've searched, and me and Lawless chat says I feel like we could finish above Man United this season, not Arsenal. So I stand corrected.
Yeah, I stand by that.
I do. They won't finish above Man United this season. Doesn't
2 points off.
Doesn't West Ham's European campaign start next week as well? You lot have got to be playing qualifiers, right?
We're finding out tomorrow, who we're playing. Yeah, so we got that coming.
Boy.
All right, let's not
go over the top with it. I don't think
I'm not
it's
going over the
really-
top of anything. No, I'm saying you were talking about fitness, and I'm saying that your European competition.
Like 2 games a week begins.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, immediately. Yeah.
You said you're not
Listen,
ready for
that's-
Man City, but I'm just saying your European campaign starts next week, mate.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between not being ready for Man City, not being ready for flipping.
No, but
you
drop
said
that in there.
you said they're ahead of you on a fitness thing.
They
So
are.
I said-
They are. That's just they played the Community Shield. That's the closest thing
I
you'll
love
get
the
to
way
a proper
Tobs
game.
just drops these bombs in, and that's it. Just done. Moves on.
These bombs, these done, these
it.
done bombs that don't go off.
I just stated the
what they
point.
are.
I just stated the point, mate. That's all.
All right,
Don't
I'll
bite my
take
head
your
off.
point and I put it in the bin.
Okay, cool. Put it in the bin. Put your club in the bin whilst you're there as well.
I fucking love it.
Put your club in the bin whilst you're
That's
there.
like,
Listen, my club don't belong in the bin.
oh my goodness. All right. Well, listen, we're going to wrap up because I know everybody's got to go places. But listen, it's been a great show. I'm looking forward to the season kicking off. Next time we're on, everybody will have their first results in. And we'll get that immediate reaction, see how everybody's feeling on the opening day. But yeah, it's going to kick off this season, I can tell. I feel like 3 of us are in, top 4 race and then Lawless. I don't know what happened for you this season. I'm not sure what you're going to be on, but
Let's see. Time to go in the transfer window. We're in for some, good players. Anana, Zielinski, Kostic, right? Let's see. Come end of the window, and then we'll see who's in a top 4 race.
Okay, it sounds like Lawless wants to throw his name in once the window's over.
You can't keep our name out of the hat fully. You've got to keep us there on standby. You've got to be ready to put our name in the hat because you can't count us out. Try and count us out every season. It's not been working. So
every season.
Have you finished in the top 4 in any of these seasons?
We've come close. All
right, we're gonna wrap up.
Arsenal haven't finished in the top 4 any of these seasons. So what are you talking about?
Arsenal finished 5th last year.
Yeah, that's not top 4,
So
mate.
we're talking about competition for top 4.
Yeah,
but they've finished in the top 4 historically. Have you ever finished in the top 4?
Sorry, historically, how long ago was that? We have finished in the top 4. Yes, we have. Yes, we have.
How many years ago was that?
Listen.
How many years ago was that?
Why have you got to move the goalposts all the time?
I'm not moving the goalposts. You said,
listen,
brother. You said that don't discount West Ham from top 4. Why? Why can't we discount West Ham from top 4? You've just admitted your squad isn't as strong.
You've been in the race the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, you have been in the race the past 2 seasons, but the teams around you have got better. You
So
were in the race last year and you finished 7th.
But we've got better.
Have you, in comparison to the other competitors? Do you think that you've made as much of a stride forward as Arsenal this season?
Right. Let me put this down for you, right? I'm going to quickly lay this down because I know we're going to go, right? And I'm just going to end your whole argument, right?
Go on.
And listen, I said we'll start slowly. I didn't say we're not going to have a good season. I think we're going to have a good season, right? But last season, right, we was in Europa League. We sustained a top 4 race for the majority of the season. We spent a lot of time. We spent more time in that top 4 than Spurs did.
Your top 4 race was done by around like probably like end of January / early February.
What are you talking about? We were still 4th like in January.
I said end of January / early February time.
Around that time, we were still 4th.
You were done.
Still 4th. Now, how was it done? We were still 4th. We was in and around 4th.
Arsenal were 4th at that point in time.
No, it was literally either they were 4th or we were 5th then and like a point or 2 off of 4th. We were still in it, right? So you can't say it was done. How can you say it's done? Because we was above you and you finished 4th. So how is it done?
Bro. I said the same thing. I said the same thing back then.
Make a point, Lawless. Otherwise, this will go.
I'm saying it can't be done if the team that's 4th didn't finish 4th. Because if it was done, Arsenal would have finished 4th if they were 4th. So that's not done. First, all right, my point is, we've had the thinnest squad. Look, he's doing his research. He's sitting there.
Yeah, I'm happy because you want to make up lies.
You know what? I should just kick us out.
Make up lies. We had the thinnest squad out of anyone in the league, right? Thinnest squad. We sustained a top 4 race and got to the semi-final of the Europa League, right? With no backup striker, injuries galore, no decent replacements, no one to come on and have that quality depth. Now we're addressing that depth. We're in, quote unquote, an easier European competition that shouldn't be as taxing as the Europa League was. And now we've got better depth. So how are we going to be less able to sustain the top 4 race than we were last season. Just because
you didn't sustain one last year. You literally finished around like 15 or 16 points off 4th spot. How was that sustaining a race? You were out of it by probably February, March times, because everyone knew you would fall off because of your European commitments. And you're going into the season, you strengthened your team, but you've not made enough adjustments for you to say that you're going to sustain a challenge for a longer period of time, especially when you're in another European campaign.
But what I'm saying is, how can you write us off when the transfer window is open? Because we can still make those adjustments.
You can still make those adjustments. So I'm saying, as of now, West Ham are not. I don't see them as serious contenders for top 4. And I don't think you can say I'm biased or anything for saying that. I don't see you lot as serious contenders for top 4. I don't.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. Yeah, you've got to put your money on us, because I'm just saying don't write us out completely. Don't write us out.
Right now, I'm writing you off for top 4 because I don't think you've got a squad manager good enough to get top 4. Why can't I write you off?
We've got, like, you know, I think we've got a decent manager. I think Moyes is better than Arteta.
I never said you haven't got a decent manager, but I said right now you don't have a squad and manager good enough to get top 4. Why is that so hard? Why is that so bad to say?
I think you're being too dismissive. You're right.
I'm not being too dismissive, because if I ask you to predict where every team's going to finish right now from 1st to 6th, you're not putting West Ham in the top 4. You're probably not even putting West Ham in 5th spot.
But that doesn't mean that it can't happen.
Yeah, but you're saying you're saying sustaining the top 4 race, and when I mentioned Arsenal, you're mugging off Arsenal.
I'm not mugging them off. I'm mugging your point.
We finished 4th last year. Arsenal finished a point behind us. Yeah,
I'm saying, how can you say
we finished? I think, Matisse, how many points did we finish behind you last season? It's like 4 points, 5 points.
3, was it? 3, I think.
West Ham finished a whopping 15 points behind Spurs.
Yeah, and towards the end, a lot of them points were dropped near the end.
Okay, then, and you're going to be in another European competition. How many players you added to your squad since then? What, 2-3 players?
Yeah, but the window's still open. What is this? Why are we doing this if the window closed today? It's
not if the window closed today. What I'm saying to you is West Ham are not contenders for top 4. You know it. You know they're not contenders for top 4.
Simple way to round this up. Lawless, what is your prediction for West Ham right now as it stands, top 4 race? Where do you see you finishing in the Premier League?
I think we'll get 6th, but we've got a distance. No, you can't.